my friends. Hi. And hello to all my friends online. Hi. Many friends joining from all over the world. Okay. So, let me start my timer. I would like to begin with a couple of prayers. I'll step back for this one. It can go loud. Shelananda he ho he ho ya he halanando he ho he ando ye ha shetananda he ho ya Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lead us from untruth to truth. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om. Peace, peace, peace.
Yay.
Woo! Everyone without exception. Every living being has the potential to awaken in this lifetime. When I first heard these words of the Buddha in 2004, they shook my being. It was as if a bell had rung in my core. It's as if 20 years, 25 years of spiritual seeking suddenly made sense. I could see that I was moving towards something important. It's something called awakening. And it's not like I hadn't heard of awakening, it's just that in my mind I had relegated it to the realm of yogis in caves or folks who spend all their lives in monasteries. But here it was being for me. I'm having a technical, okay, we're done. So, without exception, every living being holds the potential to awaken from this dream of separation. How does it land with you, hearing these words? I'd like to share a personal story. It was 10 years later. I was still in bed, just having awoken and haven't even opened my eyes yet. And I had this contemplation happening. I had in front of me, in my mind's eye, of course, in front of me, all of these selves I had taken myself to be. Higher self, lower self, body, mind, ego, personality. Where was I in all of this? Where am I in all of this? And so I pulled out yet another self that I had created just for such an occasion, this witness self. It was over here somewhere, right? So as I'm moving toward this witness self, I stop midstream and go, wait a minute, how did I create this and what am I moving from? And as I turned to look, all of these selves were seen to be empty. They were constructs. And as if they couldn't stand the light of truth, they imploded and turned to dust. And when the dust settled, what was left was aware stillness. Just aware stillness. Not me in aware stillness. Just aware stillness. I'm going to drop the technology and I'm going to stick to my analog version. So, as I There was no I in this at all. There was no even thought of an I. And the first thing to arise in this aware stillness was laughing. There was laughing. And then there was moving out of bed and looking out of the window for the longest time. And then there were words appearing here in this aware stillness. This is it. It's so simple. This is it. It's been here all along. And another insight came as I noticed this beautiful calm and peace permeating my being. Everything is fundamentally, profoundly okay. Everything's okay. Yeah. This moment out of time initiated a transformation at every level of my being over the next 8.5 years and counting. It's continuing. I can say that extreme codependence has been exchanged for sovereignty. Self-doubt plagued me my whole life. That's been transformed to self-love. A relentless sense of doing it wrong and not enough has fallen away. The sense of separation that most of us take as an unassailable human quality is dissolving. It's also become clear that living from a sense of fundamental well-being, which is what I like to call this, it's very simple, is how we're supposed to experience life, all of us. This is what's true and real. This is our natural state and our birthright. I'll just note here that awakening looks different for everyone. Sometimes it comes in a flash like that. Sometimes it seeps in over time through practices and just bringing awareness into our life. So your path is unique to you. In my experience, and by many accounts, we're in the midst of a pandemic of awakening.
Yay!
Yes.
Yay!
Woohoo! Woohoo! In academia, consciousness studies is all the rage. Studies around consciousness and awakening are happening in schools across the world. And understanding awakening has expanded beyond the strictly spiritual into the fields of brain science, neurology, and of course psychology. If you know where to look, you'll see that thousands, perhaps millions, are having a similar type of awakening, ongoing. So why now? Well, of course, maybe when I asked that, many of you maybe went to the same place I did first. It's the internet. It's the internet. So many teachings and teachers are available now like never before. Never has this planet seen such access to very good teachings. And it's important, I've realized in this past 8 years, that a teaching match your nervous system. That wasn't always possible before because of access. Innovative teachings and new teachers are coming online all the time. I'd like to share another possibility for why now, why this explosion in awakening is happening now and is available to us all, is we are at the 11th hour. From my stand, we are at the 11th hour with regard to living on this planet in an equitable way. It's possible we're being nudged by evolutionary forces to save our place on this planet. It seems awakening has moved from luxury to an imperative. So awakening has been my focus of study for over a decade, and I just want to offer that what I share here is from my direct experience and my observations with my clients. So first, I'd like to speak to what awakening is and what it is not, again, from my experience. So awakening is a shift, a fundamental shift in identity from the personal to the universal. It's a letting go of the belief that we are a separate, limited, independent person, human, to knowing that what we truly are is the ineffable, aware ground of being, which is experiencing humanness. The shift, we move from being human to knowing we're whatever it is that's experiencing humanness. It's the beginning of the end of suffering. So I speak here of psychological suffering. Of course, pain and our normal problems continue to arise. That's life. But psychological suffering, the story about the pain, falls away. It's the beginning of the end of a sense of separation. And I say sense because that is all it truly is. It's an idea that's believed. We can never, ever, ever be separate from one another, from our experience. So it is also the beginning of the end of seeking and lack. That hungry ghost sense of filling a hole. What it's replaced with is fulfillment, fullness, a fullness that grows and deepens over time. It's the beginning of the end of denial and resistance. And you can imagine if you're not pushing against reality or putting forth effort to deny what's there, that restores a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy to push against reality, and it's just seen as, we're just conditioned. We're just conditioned from birth to do this. So I could go on, but I'll go into now what it is not. It is not sainthood. Awakening is not sainthood. It is not individual perfection or self-improvement or creating the life that you want. It is not specialness. Again, we're returning to a knowing of what we all truly are, which is all the same thing, expressing beautifully in myriad ways. And it's not the end of the path. Actually, awakening is the beginning of the path of realization. It's one thing to experience this shift in identity, and it's another thing entirely to embody it. And that's the path of realization that follows awakening. That's making it real in the life as it's lived. So following the shift, awareness brings to light the false beliefs, the conditioning, the somatic contractions from trauma received in the body. We all have experienced trauma. We're human. We've experienced large and small traumas, and those create contractions in the body. And we get to see our shadow material, all that we've been trying to deny about ourselves. It's a challenging ride. It's a challenging ride, this path of realization. And I have to say there are tremendous resources available now in support of this process, all kinds of new, you see them, all kinds of beautiful new modalities are available for this process, and that's what I do with my practice, Freedom Through Inquiry. I support others who are in the midst of awakening, in spiritual emergency, or in this time of realization. So, although we don't need a cave and a lifetime of meditation to make this shift, what we can do in our life is create a fertile ground for this shift to happen, a beautiful fertile ground for it to happen. And so I want to offer here a few of the many qualities and attitudes we can hold in the midst of our lives. We don't have to make big changes. We can let these attitudes and qualities support this process. Okay, but first a joke, and I'd really appreciate it if you'd laugh, even if it's not funny. Thank you. That's a good start. Thank you. Okay, it's called 3 Zen Students. One Zen student said, "My teacher is the best. He can go days without eating." The next Zen student said, "My teacher has so much self-control, he can go days without sleeping." The third Zen student said, "My teacher is so wise, he eats when he's hungry, he sleeps when he's tired." So all that being said, use what I offer here with your own discernment and trust your own intuition. It's your unique path. My first suggestion, live into any spiritually transformative experiences you have had or will have. If you catch a glimpse of a reality that is more real than what you normally experience, please don't discount it and think of it as a fleeting experience, but rather know that if it's a reality that's more fundamental, it's always there. It hasn't gone anywhere. We just need time to grow into it. So perhaps think of a glimpse of reality as a future perspective you have the opportunity to grow into. Devote yourself to truth. If you are here listening, you likely have a love of truth living inside of you. I believe we all do. It's just a matter of getting in touch with it. So come into contact with this, your love of truth, and nurture it. Let it permeate everything that you do. Foster a yearning to move beyond belief. Move beyond belief to know without doubt, this is possible, know without doubt this unchanging, eternal truth of your being. Foster a yearning to know. Inquire into your true nature. This one's pretty key. Inquire into your true nature. As I'm sure you've all noticed, what we're conditioned to believe about what we are, what the world has to offer about what we are, we've already seen through is not true, right? We're all here. That's why we're here. We've all seen through this is not true. We're not the body. We're not the mind. But we can't stop there. What are we? I'm here to tell you, you can know this. What are we really? So a way to get to this answer is actually a way to drop in and be the answer. It's called self-inquiry. This is inquiry that is not for the mind. The mind can never know what we are. The mind, maybe we can define mind, I think of mind as thoughts and sensations and perceptions, that which, that pull for that. The mind can never know what we are. However, we can know ourselves knowingly. So this self-inquiry sends us, if we don't try to answer with the mind conceptually, it has the power to have us drop back into the pure knowing of the answer. That's the trick with self-inquiry. Practice welcoming what is. Grow your capacity to be with what is as it is. Dropping as much as you can the narration of the mind. What a fun thing to do is be curious to see if everything arises on its own without having to be directed by the narration of the mind. It's a wonderful distinction to make. The bare bones of sensations and perceptions is always more kind than what our mind would make of it. Foster self-compassion. When awareness comes more online, this will be imperative to use self-compassion when you're seeing more than you ever have about yourself and the world. Make dropping judgment a habit. This is a powerful tool. When we are judging, we're rejecting reality. And so we're in the business of welcoming and letting integration happen. And finally, where am I? Okay, we're pretty good on time. And finally, community. Thich Nhat Hanh, famous Buddhist teacher, said the next Buddha just might be the Sangha. Perhaps the next Buddha is right here in and as each of us with the other. We're all walking each other home, as Ram Dass said. And we come to this center in particular because we know that connecting with others in a spirit of love is mutually uplifting. And I would offer that what would it be for us as a community to hold for ourselves and each other this very real potential for awakening out of this dream of separation. I hold this and more for all of us together. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to offer a brief meditation. If you'd like to, if you feel comfortable, feel free to, I invite you to close your eyes. Okay. So maybe a couple of deep cleansing breaths. Yeah, and just settle right in. Letting the surface under you take your full weight. No need to hold yourself up. And experiencing the sensations that the surface under you brings. Just bring your awareness to these sensations. The sit bones and your back. Just noticing the sensations that are here right now. Notice that it doesn't take any effort to notice sensations. They just appear and disappear all on their own. It doesn't take any thinking to notice sensations. Just noticing that. There's an effortlessness here to recognizing what is. Now I would invite you to move your attention to a place inside where you feel like you are. Where are you in your body? If you can locate a sense of self somewhere in the body, maybe the chest, maybe the belly, maybe between the eyes. I'm going to bring in a little bit of inquiry here, and again, we're not going to refer to the mind for the answer, but let the question carry us to an experience of the answer. So again, focusing on this sense of self, the sense of a me in the body. Just asking, am I this sensation? Am I this sensation, or am I what's knowing the sensation? Am I the sensation, or am I what's knowing the sensation? Whatever that is, this very awareness, hearing these words right now. Am I the sensation, or am I what's knowing it? Notice any spaciousness that comes in. Notice if there's more relaxation that comes in as you rest in the answer. Okay. And whenever you're ready, just opening your eyes and perhaps letting color be here story-free, just as it is. Let it all just be a seamless experience of color. How would that be? Okay. All right. Thank you so much for all your attention. and beautiful. Thank you.